So why in the world would you buy a single pickup guitar when you could buy the two pickup counterpart? This is a question I always see people talking about whenever I talk about the Esquire, or I recently did a video about the Les Paul Jr. And I thought, let's make a video talking about some of the advantages of a single pickup guitar. Now, we are actually giving this Les Paul Jr. away. So if you haven't entered yet, there's a link down below in the description. Check that out. It's super simple to enter, and the giveaway's open worldwide. So you got a few weeks left. Get on it. Now, like I said, I see a lot of people question why you would buy something like this. Why would you get a Les Paul Jr. when you could get a Les Paul Special? Why would you get an Esquire when you can get a Telecaster? Firebird 1, good, you know, it goes on and on and on. And I think the first thing is that you don't want to approach these guitars like their double pickup counterparts, because they're not the same thing. If you approach them that way, then of course you're going to be like, well, I'm just missing stuff. But instead of thinking it that way, think of it as the guitar is less, but it makes you think more. So obviously our tones are a little bit more limited. We don't have a neck pickup. Take a normal, Les Paul or whatever it is that you play, and see how many times you switch to the neck, to the bridge, all that kind of stuff, and then now you have this guitar, you can't do any of those things. So you need to find new ways to get different tones. One of the biggest things that a single pickup guitar made me start doing was utilizing the tone and volume knob. I was totally a set it and forget it kind of guy. I just turned the volume on 10, the tone was on 10, and I was like, it's time to rock. And this guitar can do that. It can have this in your face, everything's dimed kind of sound, but you don't want that all the time. But whenever you have a single pickup guitar, you've really got to work with different things. Rolling the volume down, all of a sudden, here's this tone. And like I said, it just gets you thinking. That's the biggest thing with a single pickup guitar. All of a sudden, I find myself, I'm picking up here. I never really do this. You can do all these things on a double pickup guitar, but I'm more kind of like chasing the thought process of this. Such a different sound, down here all the way on 10. The other thing I find myself wanting to do more on a single pickup guitar is, I love picking by the bridge, but on these, I don't know why, but I love that sound, and particularly on juniors and stuff like that, they're so twangy back here right by the bridge. That's the thing, I'm just approaching the instrument differently than I would a double pickup guitar. Now, next, I do think that single pickup guitars sound a little bit different, a little extra bitey. There's this snap to them, and you'll hear a lot of people talk about this, but the lack of an extra pickup in here, in theory, should have less magnetic pull on the strings. So you're gonna get a little bit more of a resonant sound out of your pickup because there's only one. Even when your neck pickup is not engaged, those magnets are still technically pulling on the strings, so it does affect your tone a little bit. Is it audible to people who aren't guitar players? Probably not. They would never know if you're using an Esquire, if you're using a Telecaster, or probably even if you're using a Gold Top. But, to us, people who are kind of trained and we're really like honing in and listening to all these little minute details of the guitar tone, we're gonna start noticing it. I'll throw out here, which kind of goes back into point number one, is that you become very dependent on your hands. Now, that might seem like a dumb thing to say. We're playing guitar, of course, we're dependent on our hands. What I mean more of is the way that you're using them on the guitar. I don't know why, but single pickup guitars, especially Les Paul Juniors, I found they're so responsive to your fingers. Just there's this quacky sound that, and that could be a part of it being a P90 guitar. P90s just are super defined in their tone, but I find it just has a different response to the notes, and I wonder if that's because the tone is a little bit bitey, being that one pickup. If it just gives you this extra little like snap to the notes, because it sounds different when you're using your hands or your fingers. Maybe you're doing both. Maybe you're doing the Billy Gibbons thing where you're kind of like rocking the pick. There's your single pickup player, Billy Gibbons. And I think that's gonna be it, guys. Let me know down below, what do you think? Do you like single pickup guitars? Do you just don't get it? You would rather have double pickups? Either way, you know what? It's just guitar. We're having fun. So grab whatever guitar it is, play that. If you haven't yet, enter the giveaway for this one. If you don't have a single pickup guitar, you could win one right here. So I'm about to out of here. If you guys would, subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye, homies. Ain't it bluesy, single pickup guitar style.